It's indeed a great honor for me to introduce to you Mr. McLean Raphael, Vice President, Human Resources for India and Sri Lanka, 3M India Limited. Sir enjoys 2 decades of experience in the human resources domain. He completed his Masters in Personal Management and Industrial Relations from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He has since then worked in some reputed organizations including Tata Special Steel, Brook Bond Lipton India, Wipro E-Peripherals, HSBC and Bharti Airtel. Sir has handled several roles at the factory, regional and corporate levels as a HR generalist. During his career, he has been part of several high points. One of them was when he was working with Bharti Airtel. He was part of the core team which propelled the company to the BT Hewitt Best Employees list and being declared as the best HR department in the country for aligning people systems to business needs. Sir has also been certified by Hayes International, Gallup and Academy for Transformational Learning. Mr. Raphael enjoys a beautiful family life with his wife, 3 darling kids and a lovely Cocker Spaniel dog. He enjoys sporting activities and plays tennis daily. His other interests include reading fiction, watching serials like Prison Break, 24 and he passionately enjoys driving. Sir, the podium is all yours.
Good morning. Such a pleasure to be here with such intelligent, smart, smiling and exciting faces. I've set an alarm for myself 40 minutes from now to give me the first reminder to start speeding up. How many of you have used 3M product in the last 1 year or are still using it? Please raise your hands. I see many hands not raised. I can challenge those who have not raised your hands that as you're sitting, you're using a 3M product. We have it in your mobile phones. We have it in your laptop. If you've been to the doctor, he would have used his Littmann stethoscope, which is a 3M product. Or if you've been for an operation, those gowns, those masks, everything that is there in the operation theater, some of you have 3M product in yourself. Those of you with braces, those are 3M products. The 3M product that I'm most proud about, you know, is what? You must have seen, okay, not the 3M product, but the story. Last week, you must have read in the newspaper that Neil Armstrong passed away. I don't know how many of you are aware, when he stepped on the moon, the sole of his feet was a 3M product. .3M has been around for the last 110 years. We were known to be the #1 in innovation for decades and decades internationally, till we got bored a few years back. And we allowed 2 other companies to overtake us. Which are those two organizations? Apple and? You're right with the Apple being #1. And who's the second one? That's right, Google. So we are #3 just now. We'll allow them to spend some time there, seeing what it means to be at the top, and then we will overtake them again. So we are more than 100-year-old organization. In all humility, I must tell you that we have about 65,000 products plus. And some of the products I've shared with you, and you will see as we go by. We started off being a pauper organization because what we went searching for, Minnesota mining and manufacturing, we did not find. And subsequently, about 15, 18 years later, we came up with a product and then slowly started taking speed. We are headquartered in a place called St. Paul in Minnesota in the US. Globally, we are close to about 30 billion with about 85,000 plus employees. And we spend a lot of money in our R&D, in our innovation, because we believe that is what will keep us ahead of the competition. That is what will help us to deliver what the customers require. We have 45 technology platforms, and we use these technology platforms to crisscross to service our 7 businesses and our 35 different verticals. We have been recipient of several awards along the years, be it in terms of brand or in terms of leadership or in terms of most reputed organization. So several areas we have been receiving recognition. And these are some of the products. I'm sure many of the ladies over here would be pleased to know that in a few weeks from now, we will be coming up with products for your acne. That is the next care that you see there. Just to give you a quick snapshot so you understand the context in the future slides as to where we are, what we are all about. In 3M India, we have a corporate office in Bangalore. We would be touching 2,000 crores this year. We have about 2,000 employees. That's our corporate office. That's our R&D center that you see there. We have 5 manufacturing plants. And we have a pan-India footprint. So basically what I'm trying to tell you here is that we are an extremely diversified organization. We have manufacturing on one hand, we have scientists in our R&D center on the other hand, and we have a huge virtual sales office to deliver those goods. Coming to the crux of what are the expectations from you, that is what I understand was wanted out of me in today's address. As campus recruits, as you join organizations, what can you expect and what do the organizations expect from you? Now what I'm going to do in the next 30, 35, 40 minutes or so is to engage you with stories. But I can see very quickly a Deepak there and a Shraddha there getting onto their mobiles, and they've already got onto Google. The fear these days for speakers is as you start a story, they would find it and tell their neighbor the climax. But bear with me if you heard the story before, because there's a message at the end of it. What are the expectations? I will take you through these slides one by one. Very quickly, let me touch upon ethics and integrity. There is no compromise. In an organization like ours, we not only mean it by word, but you can see it in spirit and in action. Realistic expectations. We believe that it is important that we set the right expectations so you walk in knowing what to expect. And you need to walk in with an ability and a will to integrate into the system. Attitude, we're looking for people with the right temperament, flexibility, and passion to excel. We also believe that you have a strong sense of responsibility, and you need to build pride and ownership in the workplace that you ultimately go to. You come in with a high initiative, spirit of adventure, and willing to challenge the status quo. You need to have courage of your convictions, be open, be courageous. You also need to have the propensity to learn and to grow, and invest in yourself in terms of learning. You need to also count your blessings and appreciate everything that you have, either what your parents have given you, what society has given you, what God Almighty has given you. Be grateful and be gracious. Adapt, learn to be able to gel well in the environment that you're in, and inculcate various disciplines, including process discipline. Be a leader and also be a team player. Have a dream, learn to have the humility and determination which will take you places. Ethics and integrity. In 3M and many organizations these days, there is no compromise. Let me tell you that the highest award that is given in 3M is something known as a Param Award. And this incident happened about 5 years back when one of those high performers got an award, and the award was that he, along with family, was entitled to a certain amount for a foreign trip. And there was a time limit. And this gentleman tried several times to make the trip happen, but it never happened. And as it neared the end of the due date, what he did was he went to a travel agent, got those vouchers and submitted it. It was found out in the audit, investigated, and realized that it was the truth, that this guy had forged the documents and did not actually make the trip, despite the fact that he was a high performer, despite the fact that he was in an extremely critical position, he was asked to leave the organization. Realistic expectations. We believe in setting the expectations right when we recruit an employee. We had, let me take a scenario which is about 1950, 1960. What's your name? Amber. Are you afraid of dying, Amber? You are? Anybody here not afraid of dying? Yes, what's your name? Okay, Monica. Monica is not afraid of dying. So in the year 1950, Monica passes away. And she goes up, and there the doors open, and who's at the doors, at the gates? You have St. Peter. And St. Peter says, oh, another product from Balaji Institute. Come on. I know Colonel Balasubramaniam inculcated a lot of discipline in you. Good for you, because here above we are very process oriented. So Monica was very curious. She said, tell me, St. Peter. St. Peter said, let's get down to business. You have 24 hours that you get to spend in hell and 24 hours that you get to spend in heaven. And at the end of it, unlike possibly in some instances in Balaji Institute, here you are fully empowered to choose what you want, whether you want it to go to hell or whether you want to go to heaven. So Monica said, can we skip all that? It's very obvious that I want to go to heaven. Can I directly make my decision? St. Peter said, as I said, we are strict about processes. So Monica very reluctantly agrees and decides to finish off with like my kids, they like to finish off with the vegetables, gulp it down, and then sit down and have their non-veg. So Monica says, let me finish off with hell. So St. Peter says, okay. He opens the door, gently nudges Monica into hell, and closes the door. And what does Monica see inside? So many ex-Balaji Institute classmates and batchmates. She is delighted. They are having fun. They are having the best of food, music, dance, jokes. And before Monica could realize, there was a pat on her shoulder. And she looks, and there is St. Peter. So fast, 24 hours are over? He says, yes. So she walks out to St. Peter and she asks, St. Peter, can I make my decision right now? St. Peter said, no, remember, we are process discipline over here. So they go to heaven. He gently nudges her into heaven, and there she finds dim lights, light music, unfortunately nobody that she recognizes. And she just doesn't know how 24 hours pass. She's waiting every moment and keeps imagining St. Peter's hand on her shoulder. But finally St. Peter comes and taps her, and they go out. So St. Peter said, are you ready with your decision? Monica looks at St. Peter and says in a very embarrassing tone, I am, but you'll be surprised. I would like to go to hell. St. Peter says, are you sure? Monica says, yes. I was never as sure, even as sure when I was writing my exams in Balaji Institute. He says, okay, but here you will not be allowed to change your decision. Colonel Balasubramaniam may have been a little flexible, but not here. Monica says, no, I'm sure I will not change. So St. Peter takes her to hell, opens the door, gently nudges her in, and closes the door. And immediately what strikes Monica was heat and fire and fighting and violence and people throwing things at her. She quickly realizes that possibly she's not in the right place, turns back, knocks at the door, and looks at St. Peter, who opens that small peephole and says, St. Peter, but this is not the hell that I saw yesterday. So St. Peter says, you were there as a potential candidate. Today you are an inmate. You can get to understand what is the culture of the organization. I do not know if any of you would recognize this gentleman, would you? He is William McKnight. And based on William McKnight's principles, this gentleman joined 3M in the early 1900s as an accounts clerk, went on to become the greatest chairman that 3M has ever had, and he has profounded some qualities and values which we call as McKnight's principles. And if 3M is what 3M is today in terms of the culture that we have, the freedom to express oneself, the freedom to make mistakes, is because what he said. He said, delegate responsibility, empower people, allow people to make mistakes. And that's where you will not kill initiative. And that's particular one big reason why we have so many products and on a continuous basis getting invented as we speak. And when you join the organization, we believe that like a newborn baby or like a sapling, that we need to nurture you and to anticipate your cries for help and proactively address those needs. And you will also have, like here, a dosti or an ambassador seeing you through those transition moments so that you come out strong and up the learning curve very fast. And at the end of those 3-6 months, we believe that with our kind of a culture, you would be bonding and bonding like these little rascals. Attitude. Have you heard of the term called low maintenance and high maintenance? Yes? What is it? Can one of you explain? I'm not talking about a motorbike. Okay, let me very quickly lay it out. If you have a team member and you know that the team member would come to you if there is a challenge or an issue and would be performing as required, that's a low maintenance person. But if you find that you have to take care, despite the fact that this team member of yours is a high performer, but you have to take care of that person's egos, of the needs, of how you speak to that individual, crossing your T's and marking your I's or your commas, that's a high maintenance person. And believe you me, leaders dread having high maintenance people in their teams. We also believe in ensuring or welcoming people with flexibility and a passion to excel. There was once two Balaji Institute, one from Balaji Institute and the other one from another institute, I will not name, that joined 3M and they were sent to South Africa. And when they landed in South Africa, the product that they had to sell was shoes. After a couple of weeks, the management trainee from the other institute called up his boss and said, in South Africa, nobody wears shoes and there is no market here. Whilst the person from Balaji Institute called up his boss and said, in South Africa, nobody wears shoes and there's a huge market here. Which category do you belong to as an individual? Do you look at opportunities or do you look at problems? This we have Deepak and Vinay. Two of them decide to go camping, and as they were there in the night, suddenly they hear a noise in the bushes, and 25-30 meters away, Deepak sees a bear slowly coming to their tent. What he does is, as he was in his pajamas, without taking anything, he starts running in the opposite direction. And then what Vinay does was to slowly put on his boots, take the water from Deepak's bottle and empties it into his bottle, take his rifle, ensure that his knapsack is on his back, and then he charges after Deepak. And he manages to catch Deepak. And Deepak says, what are you doing? Aren't you scared? The bear was almost upon you. So Vinay turns back and tells Deepak that it is not the bear that I was bothered about. I was more particular about outrunning you. So my dear friends, when you get on to work, remember who your competition is. Take time out to prepare yourself to beat competition. Thomas Edison, 1912, had done a lot of work by then. And what had happened was there was a huge fire. And the first thing that you and I would have done if there was a fire is to look for our most precious things, grab them and step out. But what Thomas Edison did was he stepped out, he found his little son and he said, "Go call mama quickly, she'll never see a fire like this ever again." And later on, when people asked him, "How did you make such a statement?" You know what Edison said? Edison said that this was an opportunity for me to start life with a clean slate. And less than 20 days later, he came up with the invention of the incandescent bulb. How do you, my dear friends, react to adversities? And this is the time when you are still in your nurturing stage to be able to build those qualities and values that will stand the test of time. This is an exciting story that I like very much. How many of you have been to fetes? Where they have those merry-go-rounds and stalls and, yeah? Many of you have been to fetes. This little boy was a poor guy. He was there outside that park where they were having the fest. And he found that all the rich boys were buying balloons, letting them into the air and going into the fest. There was this gas balloon seller outside. And after some time, when the crowd had dissipated, this little boy goes to the gas balloon seller, pulls at his lapel coats and says, "Uncle, if you were to allow a black balloon, would it go as high as the other balloons?" So the gas balloon seller looks at this little boy, this little black African boy, and tells him, "How high the balloon goes is not determined by the color outside, but it is determined by what is inside the balloon." My dear friends, it does not depend whether you have the looks of an Aishwarya Rai or a Hrithik Roshan. It doesn't depend whether you have the legacy of an Ambani or a Tata. What will take you to the top is those qualities, the character that you build in today that will take you to the top. The passion and the determination that you want to reach is the only thing, and the hard work which will take you to the top. I'm sure all of you must have heard the story of this foreigner coming in, and he sees a guy constructing a mason. So he goes to this guy after watching him for some time and asks him, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm constructing this wall." He walks around the other side and there's another guy doing a similar thing. And he asks, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm constructing this building." And a third guy, just around the other side, he goes and he asks him, after watching him for some time, and that guy seemed to be completely engaged and thoroughly into his wall building, he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I am building one of the biggest monuments, which is going to be production operators." You can see the before and the after. And irrespective where you are in an organization, the pride that you show at work would stand out. High initiative, spirit of adventure, challenge status quo. We believe in going to the campuses in order to recruit future leaders. There are many of our campus recruits who are today country business leaders. We have the managing director of Philippines, who is a campus recruit from India, the managing director of Indonesia, who is a campus recruit from India, and many of our current country business leaders are campus recruits. So the investment that we put in you is only to ensure that you reach the top. And when you join an organization, we expect you to challenge the status quo, to bring in ideas that those currently in there will not be able to offer. There is the story of Iqbal. Now Iqbal was in Punjab and he was crossing the border. And he was stopped at by the security guards of Pakistan. And he was going on his bike and he had a gunny bag. And when the security guard asked Iqbal, "What is it that you have in the gunny bag?" Iqbal said, "I have sand in the gunny bag." Sorry. So the security guard refused to believe that. He ripped open the bag, detained Iqbal for a full night, and analyzed that sand thoroughly. From night to morning, and he did not find anything, and finally packed it for him and he sent him away. Now this happened continuously for 3 years every week. And every week Iqbal would come on a bike with a gunny bag of sand and he would go through this process. At the end of 3 years, it so happened that Iqbal was having lassi and pakoda in a dhaba and the security guard was walking by. And the security guard noticed him and went into the dhaba and he confronted Iqbal and he said, "For 3 years I've been having sleepless nights. I know that you are smuggling something. Can you share with me as to what you are smuggling? And I will promise that I will not reveal to the authorities." So Iqbal looks at him and he says, "I've been smuggling bikes." So my dear friends, what is important is for you to be able to unlearn and uncondition your minds. In fact, you will find when you're working in an organization, the biggest showstopper could possibly be your mindset. If you want to reach the top, you need to be able to look at things from different perspectives. Can you recognize this boy? 4 years old, he was attacked by a severe disease and both his legs had to be amputated. You and I, would we have even dreamt that there was life ahead of us and life as an Olympic runner? If people like an Oscar Pistorius without legs can reach the Olympics, just imagine, my dear friends, that you are no lesser. You may not be the first in class, but all it requires to reach the top, and I'm speaking from 2 decades of experience, all it needs to reach the top is a determination, a focus, and a will to do what it takes with a passion to reach the top. Courage of your convictions. Be open, be courageous. This is 3M story all the way from Electronic City where we have a manufacturing plant. It happened a few years ago where one of our OEMs had given an order. And he had given an order which required about 5 different manufacturing parts to be produced. It was a 3-day order. When the order came, the senior supervisor who had recently joined 3M got the order and gave it to the junior supervisor on the shop floor to carry out the order. The junior supervisor looked at the order, immediately realized that there was some error in what had come from the OEM. And he told the senior supervisor, "There is a mistake here. Can I go ahead and compensate for what I think is the right order?" So the senior supervisor says, "This is what we've received from the OEM. Go ahead and do your job." But the junior supervisor took things into his hands, did what his conscience told him. He was completely convinced that what he was doing was right, and he went ahead and he produced as per the number that he thought should be produced. And it so happened on the 3rd day morning, there was a desperate call from the OEM. The stores officer there called up and said, "There is a mistake that I made. I do not know how I'm going to answer my superiors, and our production line is going to stop." So this guy turns around and tells him, "I have realized that, and I have corrected it at my end. You will have the complete dispatch 100% this afternoon." These are initiatives. These are situations where you need to show the courage of your convictions. And 3M is a place, my dear friends, where we believe in loving and empowering people and ensuring that even if there was a mistake, so long as the intent was right, you can get out of it. I have a story here for you where Suresh and Ramya get married. They were in love, madly in love. And the day they get married, Ramya wanted to show Suresh her cooking skills. And Suresh was completely in love. He says, sure, go ahead. And as they are talking and she gets the dishes ready and things like that, Suresh is a very helpful, domesticated person. He helps set up the table. And it got a little late in getting the dinner, all those dishes ready. And as she starts getting those dishes to the table, Ramya says, Suresh, why don't you start serving yourself and start eating? So Suresh serves the first dish and puts the spoon in his mouth and realizes that there was excess salt in it. And from the kitchen, Ramya is asking, how is that dish, darling? So Suresh turns back and says, couldn't be better. My mother in all her 30 years has never prepared so tasty a dish. So Ramya comes, joins him at the table, and they have all the other dishes. So while Suresh is eating the other dishes, Ramya serves herself. And when she puts a spoon into her mouth, she realizes that there is excess salt. But then goes back to the response that Suresh has told. And thereafter, for the next day, next week, next few weeks, for every dish that she prepared, started putting in excess of salt. And Suresh, there was so much of love in the air. It outweighed everything else. Suresh tolerated it, with a smile, kept reinforcing that your cooking is great. And then at the end of those 3-4 weeks, there were other issues also happening. And finally, he blew up with all that excess salt coming out of his system and said, forgive my words, your bloody cooking also is only salt. In an organization, openness and communication is extremely important. Whether it's in your married life, with your friends, with your spouses, with your parents, extremely important. And in organizations, we expect that two-way communication. There would be several channels of communication which would be built, either in terms of open houses or in terms of feedback boxes or in terms of performance management systems. But it is extremely important that you express yourself. I still remember this colleague of mine who is currently heading the compensation and benefits in my team. When he was handling the HR operations bit, during those processes, he expressed himself and told us that if ever there was an opportunity, he would like to head compensation and benefits, in which he has absolutely no experience at all. And compensation and benefits, for your information, is an extremely sensitive and critical position in an organization. But because he expressed himself when a vacancy cropped up, and because of his past performance, we took a leap of faith, we laid our bets on him, and we got him into that role. Propensity to learn and to grow. Invest in yourself. Learn to appreciate the environment that you're in. This gentleman, who is the right hand of Warren Buffett, could have left the organization several times, but he continues to stay on with him because of the learning and the environment. Again, in a diversified organization like ours, and possibly in the organizations that you are joining, please do remember that it's not very important that you go from an officer to an assistant manager to a manager to a senior manager. It's not necessarily the ladder growth that will take you to places. If you have to reach the top with a wide band of exposure, then it is important that you look at the lattice way of growing, wherein there is a horizontal way also into a peer, into a similar kind of a role in a different domain with a different go-to-market model that will make you more enriched as you reach the top and make you a much more full-fledged leader as you become a country business leader. And there are several opportunities for you to learn and to grow. The organization from their end would initiate several opportunities. which are projects, which are programs, but a large part of it would depend on your initiative, on whether you would identify those areas that you need to learn and take those opportunities. For example, we've tied up with Harvard University called Harvard Manage Mentor, which are online programs. And if you ask me, not everybody in the organization is capitalizing on taking that initiative and growing to the top. There was this little boy who did not have a father. Extremely resourceful, 7, 8 years old, very creative. His mother, uneducated, realized it early on in life and went to several houses as a domestic maidservant in order to ensure that she was able to give this little boy a good education. This boy was so resourceful, so creative, he would dream, he would come up with a whole lot of ideas, he would fantasize. और एक दिन क्या हुआ था, नींद से उठ के सुबह सुबह दौड़ के आया मम्मी के पास. मम्मी किचन में था, चपाती बना रहा है. ओ मम्मी मम्मी, मैं कल रात बहुत अच्छा सपना देखा. ओ मम्मी उसको पूछा, क्या सपना देखा बेटा? वो बेटा बोला, कल रात में उस सपना में एक पैर आसमान पे और एक पैर जमीन पे. और मम्मी बोला, इतना खतरनाक सपना मत देखो बेटा, क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास एक ही छड़ी है. But my dear friends, I keep telling this story in 3M. Okay, I keep telling them that 3M is an unexplored organization. I don't think there are many organizations which have 7 different business verticals, which have 35 different divisions, which have 45 different technology platforms. And in an organization like this, you can dream of any go-to-market model, you can dream of being in any industrial, safety, healthcare business, in any business, and one does not need to look out for getting a different exposure. And another message, when people come and say, Mac, I have an offer, 40% increase, I have a very fancy title. The only thing that I tell them, I do not tell them that you do not take the offer, stay on in 3M. The only thing that I tell them, and which I'm also telling you, my dear friends, is that when you get an opportunity to switch jobs later on, do not look at it like you're looking at a burger for immediate gratification. Look at it from a long-term perspective. Lay down everything that you would have gained or you'd have lost if you were to stay on in that organization for a longer period of time. Very often, we fail to see the blessings that we have. And everything, all the positives that we have, we tend to look at the negatives. There was this Ajay and Vinay, 2 boys who grew up together. And there was something in Vinay that Ajay tried to correct for a long time as they grew up, and Ajay was unable to do so. And it so happened that they studied, they went their own way into different jobs, but this was at the back of Ajay's mind for a long period of time. And it so happened that Ajay was crossing by Commercial Street one day, and there was a Pet Planet shop. As he was walking by, the shopkeeper called him in. And Ajay stepped in, and the shopkeeper told him that I have something very unique and interesting for you in a dog. So Ajay asked, what is it? So the shopkeeper said, this dog can run on water. So even without looking at the price tag, Ajay quickly calls up his friend Vinay and asks him, what are you doing over this weekend? So they decide to go camping. And during that entire Saturday, there were multiple opportunities that Ajay purposely created for the dog to run over water. And Ajay waited all day for Vinay to react or to respond or to say something. Finally, as they were packing up their tents, Ajay could not contain his curiosity any longer, and he asked Vinay, "Did you notice anything different in my dog?" Vinay said, yes, I did, now that you asked me. So Ajay was all curious. He said, "What did you notice?" Vinay said, "I noticed that your dog cannot swim." What am I trying to communicate here, my dear friends, is that you and I are not perfect. You and I, our families are not perfect. There is no organization which is perfect. And the more you look for imperfections in anything, you would find them. So, as you join an organization, start looking for all those golden things that you would see. Pick up from this rubble all those golden coins, and that is what will make you rich. That is what will make you reach the top. There would be reward and recognition programs. Ensure that you participate in it completely. Appreciate and spread the cheer around. We may not be able to change the whole world, but we can make a difference in the world that we live in. For the taxes I pay, because it means I'm employed. For the mess to clean after a party, because it means I've been surrounded by friends. For the clothes that fit a little too snug, because it means I have enough to eat. For all the complaining I hear about the government, because it means we have freedom of speech. For the parking spot I find at the far end of the parking lot, because it means I'm capable of walking and I have been blessed with transportation. For my huge heating bill, because it means I am warm. For the alarm that goes off in the early morning hours, because it means I'm alive. And finally, for so many emails, because it means I have friends. Adapt, inculcate process discipline. How many of you here play football? Do you know that survey says that 99% of the time goes in creating those moves, in making those passes? But if you ask any footballer, when two teams go onto the ground, as to what is the ultimate objective, it is to score a goal. But if only 1% of time is taken in scoring the goal and 99% in creating those moves, it's exactly the same as to what happens in an organization. So time spent planning, prioritizing, organizing does not go waste. So the market intelligence you gather, mapping out the competition, finding out your own strategies is time well spent. There are processes in organizations. We follow the Hoshin Kanri, I just put it here, and ensuring that you inculcate process discipline very early on in life would help take you far. Help to prioritize. Be a leader and a team player. And the biggest thing to being a leader and to ensuring that your team gets the best out of a particular situation is to ensure for you as a leader to be able to trust, to be able to delegate, and to be able to empower. I like the story very much. There was this boy, Lin Hao, 7-8 years old. This was a few weeks before the Beijing Olympics could take place. He went to school as usual, like any small boy does, and he stepped out of his classroom to go around the corner, and when he came out of the loo, he suddenly realized that there was chaos happening outside. There were people, students, teachers, everybody running towards the gate. And there was the building crumbling, but this little boy quickly finds his way, runs to his classroom. And when he goes to his classroom, he couldn't find anybody there. He found that the desks had overturned, a lot of boulders all across the classroom. And suddenly when he could hear cries all over the place. And he realized that many of his classmates were caught beneath the rubble. He tried pulling out those heavy tables and the boulders, but what can he do? He had very little muscles. So he did what he could do best. He sat there and he sang for them for 45 minutes. He calmed their fears, brought in an element of peace. And after 45 minutes, the firefighters, the teachers came and rescued the children. So subsequently, in a press conference when he was asked, "So small you are, Everybody was running to the exit, trying to escape, wanting to protect their own lives. You were running in the opposite direction to your classroom. You know what Lin says? Lin Howe said that I was a class monitor and those boys were under my charge.